Hey there, Wondering Watchers. Welcome to this unboxing and flip through of the Housewives Tarot, a domestic divination kit with deck and guidebook by Paul Keppel and Jude Buffum. So I got this deck because it was on sale on Etsy and I had been eyeing it for a while. My concern about this deck, which kind of has this kind of vintage pinup type of characters on it and kind of like the 1950s housewife theme, I thought it might be too much like the Pulp Tarot. If you've seen my video on that, it's by Todd Alcott, and I really do like that deck a lot. So unfortunately, this deck has a lot to kind of live up to in terms of them being kind of a similar aesthetic, similar vibe, so to say. So I'm going to go through the unboxing of this and we'll do a close-up flip through, get to some shuffling, and then close off with a deck interview. Okay, so here is the kind of two-part box for this deck. Here it says, within this box, lie the secrets of domestic empowerment. Begin your journey by lifting the lid, dealing out your fate, and understanding the hidden messages of the Housewives Tarot. Through images of dinnerware, pentacles, martini glasses, cups, mops and brooms, wands, and much more, these tarot cards can answer all of life's most challenging questions. The enclosed instruction book will show you how to interpret all 78 cards and provides useful advice on giving a reading. Okay, so let's get into this. You can see there is this kind of like recipe box look to it. It's got this coupon looking side. Save yourself from confusion, heartache, and guesswork when you purchase the Housewives Tarot. Shuffle the deck to create the recipe of your future. You won't believe your eyes. It's kind of like the like commercials with the kind of sparkling clean kitchen. Here it says what homemakers are saying about the Housewives Tarot, and there's different kind of quotes from people. Not sure if that they're true quotes or characters, who knows. Okay, so here we've got the breakdown of the Housewives Tarot. So it's like kind of slanted inside. There's this like kind of felt velvety feeling enclosure inside this box. So it gets into the Major Arcana, then Minor Arcana, and then instruction book here. So that's interesting that they break up the deck into two separate sections. So here, I'll take out the Minor Arcana. You can see this is the divider in, or one of the dividers. Here's another divider. And I think that's a very cute idea for this. And here's the instruction book divider and the instruction book. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this book before I get into. I'm going to put these two together. Yes, I know that might be blasphemous considering they're supposed to be separate, but eventually I'm going to use these cards. They have to be shuffled. Okay. So here, the Housewives Tarot instruction book with the little toasters and the tarot cards popping out. That's pretty cute. Okay, and I like this kind of is it gingham pattern that they have here on the book and also the back of the cards. Looks like, wow, it's color, and here is contents, the legend of the mystical Housewives Tarot, kind of how it comes about, how to conduct a reading. Oh, the Virgin. Looks like spreads. The Virgin, the Neapolitan, the Dinette, the clothesline of life. That's intriguing. Then the martini, it's shaped like a martini glass. And I really like the number of spreads in the visuals so far. I don't know exactly what the spreads are for, but I do like how this one looks like, you know, a dinner setting with a plate and, you know, fork, knife, spoon, and then the martini glass. Okay, so we have the cards that are kind of, the image is in, I would say, color. This kind of looks like color-ish, although not a lot of different colors. And we have each, let's see if it also does it for the Minor Arcana. Yeah, for each card, it has the image in the description section with keywords and a short description. It doesn't look like there are reversals here, but this is based off the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and so the meanings would be the same. So let's take a look at these cards. Okay, here is the card back, this red and white checkered. Is it called gingham? I have to look it up. And we start off with the Fool. And see this woman jumping off the roof with a bunch of things falling out of her purse. I did see a review online that really did not like the disproportion, like head, upper body, and lower body. And of course, how this person is pretty much the same size as half of the roof. But I get that, you know, there's a certain artistic look that they're going for. So there's the Fool. We have the Magician here. You can see, like, looks like a neighborhood and a washing machine. The Empress, recipes for success. Looks like there is a hunk of meat on this plate and some ingredients that look like milk. So I really wonder what that's supposed to be. The Emperor, that's got a bunch of cans here making the body. The High Priestess, a secret syrup. That's cute. The Hierophant, this looks like a TV, an old school TV. Got lovers in this fancy convertible. You have the Chariot with this fancy station wagon. And these cans, this says risk, that says gain. I think that's supposed to say tarot and maybe chowder. Strength soap pads. The Hermit taking a bath. That's interesting. Okay. The Wheel of Fortune. Roulette wheel. Justice card. I guess this woman is spanking her kid with a wooden spoon. You have the Hanged Man being hung on the clothesline with some undergarments. Death. Everything expires. Real salmonella. I like that. That's funny. You have this Temperance card with all these keywords on it. Joy, justice, instant anger, sorrow. Got this Devil's Food Cake with this box that says Vice on here. And Spork. I guess it's supposed to be spam. That's funny. It's associated with the devil. You have the Tower, which is this a Jello tower. That just looks horrific. You have the star here with a bunch of ribbons. First place probably for this star pie. The Moon, relaxing on this bed with this, what does that say? Cool, what is that word? Cold cream. Okay. You got the Sun. This husband surprised that he's got these egg eyes staring up at him. We have the Judgment card with this scale and this cold meat slab as the body. And the World, this recipe box. Okay, so now we're into the cups. And I'm noticing that it looks like the suits here have different colors themes. So cups, blue, wands, brown, swords, red, and then the pentacles, green. Okay. So we have the Ace of Cups, Two of Cups, Three of Cups, Four of Cups, we have Five of Cups here, Six of Cups, Seven of Cups, Eight of Cups, Nine of Cups, 10 of Cups. We have the Page here, pouring water on flowers with heads on them. The Knight of Cups. I don't even know if that kid looks old enough to drink. Queen of Cups. And King of Cups. I would say so far it's very different from the Pope Tarot. The characters are, like here, there's less background and more just kind of random objects. So you kind of have to use your intuition to kind of fill in the blanks. The background on here is a bunch of different cups, and the way that the king is kind of looking, holding his drink, it's giving me a sense of more like an alcoholic as opposed to someone who is like emotionally stable. I think maybe it's the gaze, kind of how like looking down, and maybe the mouth is kind of seems like lost in thought or inebriated. So let's keep going. We're into the wands with this feather duster. Two of Wands. This person has 4 hands though. Very interesting. 3 of Wands. 4 of Wands. I think it's interesting that it looks like there's people down below, but this person is by themselves. So here we have the 5 of Wands. And I would say the images don't by themselves give a lot of support for the meaning. So I think you would need to know the meanings of the cards before using this deck. Like, I don't know if this is necessarily a beginner deck. You have the 6 of Wands here, which is about a sense of accomplishment, victory, and recognition of, your success by those in your community. But here it seems like the wands are kind of cleaning themselves, and these people are in awe of the wands. Maybe you can get a sense of, being a center of attention or being victorious from this, but I'm not sure if that resonates for me. So here we have the 7 of Wands with a bunch of toothbrushes and a very clean pink commode toilet. 7 of Wands is about standing your ground, inner conviction, protecting, what you care about. Maybe sitting your toilet. I don't know how that relates, but okay, keep going. We have the 8 of Wands, the 9 of Wands, which doesn't make sense to me because in the traditional 9 of Wands, the individual is like worn down, has a bandage on their head, and is being held up by a wand. Here, this person is very well dressed, very happy and smiling, and looks like they can do it all and totally composed. Okay. Here we have the 10 of Wands that more resonates for me for the traditional meaning. We have the Page of Wands, the Knight of Wands, Queen of Wands, who has a kind of a stern, severe look on her face, and the King of Wands, who probably created this gizmo gadget multi-cleaning device himself. Now we're into the swords, Ace of Swords, the Two of Swords, the Three of Swords. Okay, this deck is already making me hungry and wanting cake, but that's not a surprise. I'll just say I usually want cake anyway. Okay, so Four of Swords, Five of Swords. Not sure how this conveys that concept of not knowing when to walk away from a lose-lose situation, or a false sense of victory, or like defeat. We have here the Six of Swords, Seven of Swords. This is usually a card of like liar, stealer, cheater, sometimes imposter syndrome, or doing something in a way that is like stealth. Maybe the fact that this lady has two swords and is behind this person's back, gonna stab her in the head. Okay. We have here the Eight of Swords, the Nine of Swords, Ten of Swords, Page of Swords. Yes, I would say this is a very good depiction of the Page of Swords. Someone who is just like running with scissors and putting their hands and touching everything, just putting their hands on everything, just need to get into everything, doesn't really think about necessarily the consequences. You have the Knight of Swords, Queen of Swords, and the King of Swords. Again, this king just looks like really he considers himself to be the next thing to go on the grill. Or maybe he's thinking how this big, long skewer will fit on this tiny grill. But if he's the King of Swords, he shouldn't really have that problem, but we'll see. We have the Pentacles here, Ace of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, with a kid eating a bunch of sweets, and these people dressed as ghosts in the background, and he's like a devil. The Six of Pentacles is usually seen as kind of charity, giving, sometimes like getting an income. This kind of looks like this devilish kid is just taking everything for himself. You have the Seven of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, with this woman who is also a dishwasher. And I guess that's supposed to be representative of this person's hard work and enjoying it. Sure. Okay, we have the Ten of Pentacles, where it's this single woman holding this big plate with a house, but I don't see any people in this plate by the house. So that doesn't necessarily resonate for me as like the typical Ten of Pentacles, though I can imagine who lives in the house. We have here the Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles wearing a tuxedo to mow the lawn. That makes sense, because Knight of Pentacles really likes to put in effort, really cares about the work that they do, cares about their reputation. So they want to look good and get things done. We have here the Queen of Pentacles. But it's almost making it seem like the Queen of Pentacles is like pushing off her family as opposed to caring for them. It's like, hey, I'm going to go shopping. Ta-ta. I mean, that could be an aspect of the Queen of Pentacles. And here we have the King of Pentacles, who looks like the happiest king. Well, besides the King of Wands, who made that contraption. Okay. So here, let's take a look at these cards. These are kind of standard size tarot cards, flexible. Let's see how they shuffle. I like that. It's good for shuffling. Oops. Okay, so let's do a deck interview after I shuffle more of these cards. So I went ahead and shuffled these cards pretty well. In setting this up, I noticed that these recipe index cards have actual recipes on the back. Here we have Madame Marlene's Mystical Martini. There's also a icebox fortune cake here. It has ingredients and directions. I don't see any temperature for baking this cake, but maybe you don't need to if it's just an icebox cake. All right. Well, if anyone has tried some of these recipes, I'd love to hear about that. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and do one more little shuffle and pull 4 cards. The first card being the deck's current energy or vibe, the second card being its current strength, third card being its current limitations, and the fourth card being what it would like to teach. So let's see what we have here. I'm going to put this in 3 separate piles because I'm feeling like it. All right, first card, core essence of this deck, the Knight of Cups. So basically wanting to send message of love, coming from the heart, emotionally connecting with the reader. In terms of its current strength, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So putting in that hard work, making sure that we are really seeing the path forward and the resources we have available and the most efficient ways to reach our goals. And also teaching us to really enjoy the journey. In terms of its current limitations, we have Ace of Swords. So perhaps the limitations are in terms of new insight and clarity. And in terms of what it wants to teach, 9 of Swords. So I can't imagine it wants to teach fear, anxiety, and stressful, obsessive thinking. Perhaps it wants to teach how to deal with that. And the influencing energy of this reading, we have the Queen of Cups. So again, this sense of loving, caring, nurturing, tenderness. So I'm going to go ahead and read the descriptions for these cards. So for the Queen of Cups here, we have keywords of intoxication, emotions, introspection, highly emotional and introspective. The Queen of Cups usually represents a woman in your life or a feminine aspect of your own personality. For her, the glass is always half full, if not filled to the brim. Her intoxicating qualities leave others feeling a bit tipsy, and her propensity for sentimental musing often leads to neglect of household responsibility. So possibly Queen of Cups just wants to get the tea and not really make it or clean up afterwards. Okay, so for the Knight of Cups here in the essence or vibe of the deck, Knight of Cups, Keywords: charm, romance, and sensitivity. The Knight of Cups is a charmer, a romantic, and a dreamer who tends to wear his heart on his sleeve. When on top of the world, he is the first to uncork the champagne. When feeling blue, he'll drown his sorrows in ambrosia and hope for amnesia. Yes, he's sensitive, gentle, and can be a bit moody, but that's all part of his appeal. Fortunately, his mood is usually bright and sunny. Okay, let's take a look at the Knight of Pentacles here in deck strengths. Knight of Pentacles, keyword ambition, and was that entrepreneurship and reward. Entrepreneurship and reward. Okay. The Knight of Pentacles is one busy guy, whether it's mowing old Mrs. Cratchit's lawn or delivering the Elmwood Gazette. He's got a lot of jobs on his plate, a real go-getter. He keeps his nose to the grindstone and pinches every penny until he can afford the finest things in life has to offer. From his swanky duds to his stylish convertible, his expensive tastes keep him working overtime. His appearance may indicate a long reward overdue that's soon to be received. So here, he's mowing the lawn, but this tuxedo, he's dressing for the position he wants, not the one that he has. Okay, so let's see about this Ace of Swords in the current limitations section. Okay, keywords for the Ace of Swords: challenges, trials, upcoming ordeals. Getting right to the point, the Ace of Swords warns of an upcoming ordeal that will test your mettle. A slice of gumption with a dollop of common sense will get you through whatever trial comes your way. Your mind is sharp and ready for a challenge, so don't be afraid to take on those who try to cut you out of the picture. Okay, so upcoming challenge. I mean, that is Ace of Swords, but usually swords are about strategy, communication, thought in general. So yeah, upcoming challenge. But for Ace of Swords, it's usually like a sense of victory, a sense of clarity, kind of cutting through the BS. But this is kind of like getting prepared to test your mental abilities. I guess I can see that too. Okay. So Nine of Swords here, that is what it wants to teach. So let's see what it says about the Nine of Swords. Keywords. Keywords are, oh, I see. It's not the entirety of the card that is in the guidebook. It's like a section of the cards. So here, the grandma with the knife is the Nine of Swords. Okay. So paranoia, delusion, apprehension. You have nothing to fear but fear itself. Though you fret over coffee stains on the love seat and detect disapproval from your mother-in-law, don't worry that pretty little head of yours. You suspect the worst, but it's probably all in your mind, and you are working yourself into a tizzy for nothing. Even when your problems are real, you tend to blow them out of proportion. Sometimes your apprehension is worse than the outcome you dread. So basically, wanting to teach that we just think everything is catastrophic, and if we don't get things perfect, everything will be ruined. So that seems right. Okay, so this is what I have for the Housewives Tarot. If you have any experience with this deck or questions, please let me know. We'll see you next time. Take care.